No, no. No, no, no. Oh, please. No. Oh, no. Please. Oh, please.
Warren. Warren. Warren, darling. You're having a nightmare.
Oh. I dreamed you'd left me.
Now, why would I want to do a thing like that?
So much less than what you expected. Less than what I promised you. Janet, even if we do lose everything, I can still start over again. I'm still young.
If we had to, I would, and gladly. But why start over again when we're close? So close. Warren, have I been a good wife to you?
My darling, I can only tell you. When Edith died, I almost died too. And then meeting you, loving you, it's like being born again into a world I never even dreamed about.
It can be better when we have the Barclay rice.
I told you, there's no way.
Warren, there is a way. Trust me, darling, I'm your wife. Your future is my future. It took boldness to try to corner the rice market. I loved you for that. That's the only way to get anything in this world is to be bold. The lion shall inherit the earth, not the meek. Warren, we can't stop now. We have to take the next step.
There is no next step. We gambled and we lost.
Trust me, darling. Trust me.
Understand we got a letter from Audrey today.
Mm-hmm.
Would you mind telling us how she's doing?
Fine, just fine.
Lots of beaux dancing up a storm?
Mm-hmm.
Probably come home engaged to some slick San Franciscan?
Probably.
How's her broken leg coming along?
Fine, just... I'm sorry.
You've been miles away.
Well, a few. Actually, I was thinking about Warren. That was frightening.
Well, when you try and corner the rice markets, you're playing for big stakes.
Gamble big, you gotta be prepared to lose big.
Sorry to come busting in, but we got a fire.
Fire? Where?
South section.
How many men you got up there?
About a dozen.
Better pull some men in off that night herd. Come on.
Bob, how did it start?
There was no accident, Mrs. Barkley. We found a drum of kerosene and a tongue hatchet. Excuse me.
Who is it?
I still say it doesn't make any sense. Why would the Tongs start the fire when I already told them that I'd sell Mike Chang the rice?
2 days worth of smoke. You two argue it out. I'm gonna take a bath.
Well, maybe they didn't believe you. Maybe they don't trust Mike Chang. Anyway, who says anything they do has to make sense? Jared, they ruined $1,000 worth of crops, and they're gonna pay for it.
If we can prove they did it.
Prove it. Wouldn't you call a drum of kerosene and a tong hatchet proof?
Left a little conveniently, Nick. Too conveniently.
Jared, Nick.
You wait here, Jared. I'll see if it's all right. Come on.
Come in.
Chen Yu, Mr. Jared Barkley.
My pleasure, Mr. Barkley. Yes, Mr. Barkley. This bag of decaying flesh is the leader of the terrifying Tong. I do not look very dangerous, do I? Perhaps Mr. Barkley would like a pot of tea.
Mr. Barkley would like only one thing, to know where you're holding my mother.
Your mother?
She disappeared last night while we were fighting the fire you started.
We started no fire on your property, Mr. Barkley. You are our friend, or so our mutual friend, Mr. Chang, tells us.
I consider myself a friend of the Chinese people, but believe me, I'm no friend of the Tong.
The terrorist Tong. The bloodthirsty Tong. I concede it, Mr. Barkley. At times, we are forced to violence. Forced by those whites who will not allow for change. Who will not allow our people to better themselves peacefully. There are people who cannot move but by force. We will move them. But not you, Mr. Barkley. To our friends, we offer our friendship. And if needed, our help. I'm sorry to hear about your mother, Mr. Barkley. But she is not a guest in the house of Chen Yu.
Let go!
Nick, you were supposed to stay away from
I
her.
know what I was
You
supposed
just
to
had
do.
Come busting in. Nick, I don't think she's here.
You don't
Now, just
think
trust
she's...
me. My apologies. Come on, let's get out of here. Hello, Janet.
I came out just as soon as I'd heard what happened. Oh, Jared, it's awful, just awful. What time did it happen? We left here last night before midnight.
You and Warren were here last night?
As soon as we heard about the fire, naturally, we rode out to see if we could do anything to help. You and the boys had already left, so we kept Victoria company till, I'd say about 10 or 11 o'clock. Oh, Jared, it's the Tong. Look, have their leader arrested. Charge him with murder if Victoria isn't returned within 24 hours.
It doesn't make any sense. They wouldn't have any reason to kidnap her. They already knew they could have our rice.
You mean they knew they couldn't have it?
What do you mean by that?
Jared, when we arrived last night, your mother invited us upstairs. In the distance, we could see the fire burning. She said to Warren, I'd as soon those 2 ships with all the rice in them sunk at sea as sell it to them.
She said that.
She was angry. As angry as I've ever seen her, and with justification. Anyway, she asked Warren to draw up an informal contract, which she signed, selling us your 2 shiploads of rice.
The Tong wouldn't have any way of knowing about that.
Your mother must have said something.
Where is that contract? I'd like to see it.
Well, right now, it's with Warren in San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Naturally, Warren had to begin making arrangements to dispose of the rice. Those ships arrive in a day or two, don't they?
Yes, yes.
Jared, I beg you. The Tong decided to get back at you.
Well, maybe I'll talk to the sheriff when he gets back.
You know, if there's anything I can do, anything. You know I speak Chinese.
Yes, I know.
And perhaps he could be of some help. You know, he's had some experience with the Tong.
Yes, but at the moment, there's nothing.
Jared, she may still be alive. Don't wait too long, I beg you. Let's go, Kate.
Warren. What happened?
There, now, it's all right. It's all right.
How did I get here?
Don't you remember anything?
Well, I remember hearing a sound at the door, and then someone came in, and a handkerchief. They put a handkerchief...
Soaked in chloroform. We smelled it when we found you. But you're safe here. Tong can't touch you here.
Tong?
Yes, we saw them as we rode up. It's a good thing we came when we did, too. I've no doubt they'd have... You were unconscious on the bedroom floor. We brought you here. Now, you've got to make your stand, Victoria. You can't do business with terrorism. If they can blackmail you into giving them or selling them your rice, none of us is safe. I've written up this informal agreement between us, pledging your rice to me. It's very informal. It just gives me the right to purchase.
Oh, Warren, I can't sign that.
You must. Not for my sake, but to prove that we live in a country where terror does not rule.
Well, I can't sign that without first talking to Jared. You see, we've pledged our rice to Mike Chang.
Yes, to the Sanctified Chinese League. Import opium, sell their women into prostitution.
That's not true.
Who pretend to oppose the Tong while secretly financing it?
Well, you proved that to my satisfaction and Jared's.
Oh, Mike Chang has manipulated and sweet-talked Jared to the point where Jared couldn't possibly judge the truth.
Then I'll judge the truth, but from facts, not from innuendo and slander.
Now, I respect your motives, Victoria. You're concerned about the plight of the poor Chinese peasant. Well, that's very laudable. That's Christian. You consider the poor Chinese peasant objective, you know. While they work as coolies and take jobs away from white laborers. That cup of rice you give them comes out of the mouth of people like us, our kind.
Oh, you can't possibly believe that.
Well, they tried to murder you. Janet and I saved your life. You start with that and figure whether you owe your rice to them or to me. Now, you sign this, and then I'll take you home.
No, you take me home first, and then...
I can't do that, Victoria.
What do you mean you can't do it?
Oh, please, Victoria, I beg, if you sign
Let
this,
me
please.
go!
Oh, Janet.
She'll be all right. Take her downstairs.
No, Janet, no.
Put her in the storeroom.